For something you always wanted.
You too, Judith, Micah. Place your little notes in the holy well. Who knows? Maybe God will grant your requests.
I'm asking for a date with Justin Bieber. I'm asking to win the lottery.
I want world peace. Kids, why don't you turn around? Look at the stones on the wall. Aren't they golden in color? Ooh. Yes, I know. They are lovely. Mary Poppins, I think this calls for a celebration. Don't you think so? Why don't you lead us in a hurrah? Ba nagila ha, ba nagila ha, ba nagila benishmaha. Ha ba nagila ha, ba nagila ha, ba nagila benishmaha. Ha ba na ranana, ha ba na ranana benishmaha. Ha ba na ranana, Somehow, everyone woke the next day, magically back at home. We now join the Blooms as they're having breakfast.
Lovely, lovely morning, Elisheva.
Indeed it is, Mrs. Bloom.
Did you put the Siddur in my carryall?
Yes.
Wonderful. Today, me and the Minyanettes are picketing the men's minyan.
My dear, if God had wanted women to be counted in the minyan, it would be written in the Torah.
George! Minyan is a rabbinic invention, and we all know that all the rabbis have been men. Besides, we've had female rabbis for many years. Are you seriously going to tell me that they are not counted in the minyan?
No.
It's time for our shul to get with the program. The Minyanettes will not be deterred.
Yes, dear. What's all that fearful noise?
It's Cook singing.
Singing? What's wrong with her?
Apparently, the children taught her a song that Miriam Poppins taught them. In fact, ever since you hired Miriam Poppins, the most extraordinary feeling seems to have come over the entire household.
Is that so?
Take Elisheva. She hasn't broken a dish all morning.
For her? That's extraordinary.
And another thing, her and Cook usually fight like cats and dogs, but today...
Let me hold the door for you, Elisheva.
That's ever so nice of you, Mrs. Gittel.
Ladies, stop making that offensive noise. And shut the window. That bird's giving me a headache.
Oh, that's not a bird, Mr. Bloom. That's Miriam Poppins tweeting.
I'm awfully sorry you're not feeling well this morning, George.
Who said I'm not feeling well? I just don't understand why everyone's so confoundedly cheerful. You two.
Good morning, Daddy.
Good morning.
Miriam Poppins taught us the most wonderful song.
It's the alphabet song.
I thought you already know your alphabet. And why would you want to sing it to this annoying and ridiculous melody? Diddle diddle? What nonsense. Now hurry along.
Yes, Daddy.
George, maybe the children would enjoy their Judaism a lot more if you were more receptive to our new nanny.
Listen, Kava, I don't propose just standing idly by and letting Miriam Poppins undermine the discipline in this home.
But she's doing such a wonderful job with the children.
I don't agree. Anyway, I'm late for work. Goodbye.
Later that day, Mr. Bloom returned home from work.
Oh, Daddy, we're so glad you're home. Want to hear the song we sang in Israel?
Sang where?
In Israel, at the Western Wall.
Oh, that's impossible. Unless you were flying on El Al, you were not in Israel.
But we were, really, with Miriam Poppins. She says that if we're good, she'll take us there again.
Oh, Miriam Poppins said that, did she? Miss Poppins.
What is it, Mr. Bloom?
How do you do that? Anyway, it's time we have a serious talk.
Good evening, George. Nanny, is anything the matter?
I'm afraid there is. You see, Miss Poppins here has been causing all sorts of mischief in this household. Nanny Poppins, I must confess I am extremely disappointed in you.
She's in for it now. I've heard Mr. Bloom do this speech before.
It's high time the children learn the seriousness of becoming good and learned young Jews.
George, are you certain you know what you're doing?
Not now! As I was saying, a synagogue is run with precision. The Bloom residence requires nothing less. Tradition, discipline, and rules must be the tools. Without them, chorus and tumult. In other words, a mess.
I quite agree.
You do? As I was saying, I am disturbed to hear my children talking about popping in and out of another country, even though it is Israel. It's time they learned what reality is, like my position as president of the synagogue, being responsible for the financial health of CSC and for all the hundreds of members. That's reality.
Quite right, Mr. Bloom. The children need to appreciate the seriousness of what you do.
Precisely, Miss Poppins.
It's time the children learn to walk in your footsteps.
Yes, yes.
So tomorrow, pressed and dressed, Judith and Michael will be by your side just as you suggested.
Splendid. You hit the nail right on the... Just as I suggested? I don't understand.
They'll join you at CSE tomorrow, as you suggested.
But
Tomorrow's an important day for the children. I shall see they have a proper night's sleep. Good night.
My dear, did I say I was going to take the children to shul?
It certainly sounded that way, George.
Yes, why not? Just the medicine they need. They'll see firsthand what I do.
I don't believe it. Daddy's taking us to see a Z tomorrow. Miss Poppins, you must have put the idea into his head.
Me? Putting ideas into people's heads? Really?
Maybe we can stop by Yad Ezra. It's right next door. Daddy doesn't let us go in there. He says since we're giving them money, we don't need to go in person.
It's always so important to get involved. Maybe tomorrow you can remind him to stop by. Early each day at the steps of Yad Ezra, some special volunteers come to help. In their special way, they perform a big mitzvah by begging some food for the poor. Come feed the children, show them you care, and you'll be glad if you do. The young ones are hungry, their tummies are empty. All it takes is kindness from you. Feed all the families, it's easy to do. Kindness and caring is what you should show. Feed all the children and don't let them cry. Perform a big mitzvah. It's easy, just try.
Now remember, children, we must be on our best behavior.
Michael, look, there it is.
What?
Yad Ezra.
I know. We just don't have time right now.
Maybe we could go just for a minute?
No, we're late for our appointment.
Please, Daddy. Miriam Poppins says not just enough to give money to Yad Ezra, that we need to get involved.
Yes, but right now we're going to be late.
But Miriam Poppins said.
For the last time, I do not want to hear what Miriam Poppins said, nor do I wish to hear her name for the rest of the day. Now come along, I want you to meet Rabbi Koach. And remember, behave.
Hello, George. And who are these good-looking children?
Rabbi, this is Judith, and this is Micah.
So wonderful to see you kids. Are you here for any special reason?
They wanted to see what the shul president does.
What a great idea. Your father puts in so much time helping our synagogue with all the fundraisers, programs, religious services, and many, many more things. You should be very proud of him.
Rabbi Koach, Miriam Poppins says not just enough to give money to Yad Ezra, that we need to get more involved.
Micah, I told you, I do not want to hear any more about Miriam Poppins.
But Miriam Poppins also taught us so many other things.
Not now.
It's okay, George. What else did Miriam Poppins tell you kids?
Enough. I don't want to hear any more.
Don't you at least want to know about the wish I made at the Western Wall?
No, Micah, you've never been to the Western Wall.
You never believe anything we say. We were there, really, with Miriam Poppins. You probably just brought us here because Miriam Poppins made you.
Rabbi, I'm so sorry. My children are obsessed with their new nanny and her fantasy stories about Israel.
George, they're just children. I think they're just trying to tell you that they love you. Besides, if their nanny gives them a fantasy about going to Israel, you should only be too happy to make that fantasy a reality. By the way, the family mission is coming up this year, and it'll be lots of fun.
We'll see. But what about tradition and what about discipline? That's what our religion is built on.
True, but remember our famous toast, the Chaim, to life. What would life be without a little fun?
You know, Rabbi, I guess I never really thought about it that way. I think I'm just afraid my children won't appreciate shul, unless they realize what a great responsibility it is to be Jewish.
Listen, George. It's true there need to be, or lagoyim, a light to non-Jewish world by setting a good example, but that doesn't mean they have to be miserable either. You need to lighten up and enjoy life. What do you say, George? Hey, it's lunchtime. I have a great idea. Go to the Bloom's Deli. By the way, did they name it after you? Go sit, relax. Everything will work out fine. I'll go find your children and take them home, okay?
Okay, Rabbi. You know, I am sort of hungry. Come to think of it, a nice corned beef sandwich would do just the trick.
Mr. Bloom took Rabbi Craycroft's advice and went to Bloom's Deli, where he got more than he bargained for.
So, Mr. Bloom, you ordered the corned beef sandwich.
Miriam Poppins, what are you doing here?
Oh, I work here. It's Bloom's Deli, correct?
But
The corned beef is just the thing, isn't it?
This is the most amazing corned beef sandwich I've ever had. It's so good. Life is so wonderful. I feel so happy. I can almost sing. Where are my wonderful children? Where's my beautiful wife? Why have I been so serious all these years? Being Jewish is fun, and the food is so delicious. In fact, it's yum diddle diddle, yum yum yum.
Yum diddle diddle, yum yum yum. I think he's got it. Finally you understand that Judaism can be fun. Oh, how marvelous. Will you join me, Mr. Bloom?
Yum diddle 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 yum yum yum. Yum diddle 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 yum yum yum.
SuperChallahGiantLatkes, Jewish food's delicious. We love it 'cause it tastes so good. Who cares if it's nutritious? With names like Knish and Gnedala, it all sounds so fictitious. SuperChallahGiantLatkes, Jewish food's delicious. My Bobby feta scribbiners, they come from chicken fat. She made us tons of matzo balls and served them in a vat.
Your cholesterol, then don't eat foods like that. Just taste a little Jewish food, the recipe to your cat. Yum diddle 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 yum yum yum.
A Jewish deli is the place to have corned beef on rye. Pastrami, lox, and bagels. There are so many foods to try.
Some even eat chopped liver